20 years of incredible finds, friendly staff, and already 3 years in our new home on Rock Boulevard. If you haven't been here yet, you're truly missing out. 20 dealers, over 7,000 square feet of antiques and collectibles, just about anything you can imagine. Easy parking, but stay a while. Antiques and Treasures Rock. Open 7 days a week, 10 to 6. Welcome to the Antique Mall. We've been in business 27 years with 13 separate dealers and over 10,000 square feet of space. We're unique because of our fun outside space. With funky, rusty, artistic vintage yard art, we have hit-and-miss engines, old stoves, old tools, picks and shovels. And then on the inside, we've got dolls, jewelry, books, collectibles, and trains, including American Flyer, Lionel, and Tyco, all available in many scales. Come and visit us 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., located at 10104 off the US 50 freeway in Mound House, Nevada. Come and see us. Here at another booth at Tanner's Marketplace here at the Convention Center, and I'm standing here with Tim. Tim's got some interesting collectibles. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about some of what you have in your booth here.
Baseball cards, collectibles, pictures, baseballs.
I love some of the little figurines you have here.
Yeah.
I understand that you created these.
Yeah, I made all the stands for them and everything, put them all together, and it's fun. I'm retired, so I got to have something to do.
There you go. No, this is a neat hobby. So it looks like some of these are definitely vintage cards.
Yeah, there's some older ones.
What are some of these going for? Would you say, like, as you're selling them, how much? What are you asking?
Well, any of the ones with the baseballs on them are $15
okay.
for the whole thing, and these are like $8. Those are $8, and not too expensive.
So some of the cards that are in here, they must not be like real expensive collectibles, or
no, not really, not
okay.
really.
Do you make those as well, though? I mean, so if you have a really expensive card, you would not put it in a display like that?
I do have one, yeah. I have a 1933 Babe Ruth Gowdy in my safe at home.
Now, would putting it in a display like this, would it damage it or would it hurt its value?
No, because these are all protected, very well protected.
Okay.
They call these top loaders, and you put the card in there and it protects it.
Okay.
And these are all, this is just a book of Nolan Ryan. These are all Nolan Ryan cards.
Okay.
So those can be pretty valuable.
So is there a reason or a thinking as to why you wouldn't put like a Babe Ruth card in something like this? You just like to keep it separate?
Because of the price I sell them for.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to keep like the cards. I got cards over here that I keep separate from everything else, But
how long have you been collecting baseball cards?
Pretty much all my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it started when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad had handed down a shoebox full of cards to my brother. My brother handed it to me, and I ended up getting rid of it. Why, I have no idea, but it had several Mickey Mantles, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig's, you name it. There was a valuable card in there, but I lost them throughout the years.
Sure.
So that's why I started collecting again, and then I was collecting all these baseballs through, watching the All-Star game and stuff like this, and I was collecting a lot of home run derby balls, which I've sold a lot of them.
Okay.
And those, I started matching them up with the winner of that home run derby that year to the baseball,
Okay.
from that year. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it, And people, I get compliments all the time from people saying that I have very nice collection and stuff like this,
Well, I love the creations you make for sure. Those are nice.
Thank you.
Those are very nice. It's a neat way of displaying the card, having a character, having a ball.
Yeah, and I tried to do these kind of like home plate, and stuff, and just like I said, it's a lot of fun.
That's a neat hobby.
Thank you.
Keeps you out of trouble, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, nothing keeps me out of trouble.
I was just being diplomatic.
I was born for trouble.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
But hey,
So how long have you been coming to Tanner's Marketplace?
Let me see. Moved here in 2015. About 9 years.
Okay.
Yeah, about 9 years.
So you enjoy it?
Yeah.
It does well for you?
Yeah.
Nice.
I do okay. My sister did it before. She was an antique dealer and stuff, and she had a booth set up, and then she invited me when I moved here in 2015 to take a little section of her booth and set some stuff up. So I did. And
gave it a shot?
Yeah.
You liked it?
Haven't stopped since.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Well, I noticed some of your Marilyn Monroe pictures. Looks like you have some vintage photos, and it looks like you even have some vintage newspapers.
Yeah, I've sold a lot of newspapers.
Okay. But you say business, would you say that the baseball cards are your biggest thing?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, do you go to a lot of games?
I used to.
Used to?
Yeah, I used to. I'm a big Angel fan.
Okay.
And I used to go to Anaheim Stadium all the time. Matter of fact, I was there when they won the World Series in 2002. Me and my wife were there for the pennant clincher against Minnesota.
Wow.
And it was pretty exciting. My dad played for the old farm system for the Los Angeles Angels back before they left LA, and so it's been in the family forever.
You're keeping the tradition going strong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tim, I appreciate you being on the Antique Showcase, and good luck here at Tanner's.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. We're here at Tanner's Marketplace with Annie, who has some of the most interesting antiques I think I've seen yet. So, Annie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. I absolutely love this. Tell me about this 1905 Edison.
Okay, so it uses the wax cylinders to play music. And this is called a morning glory horn. So this is pretty standard. The Edison over here has what's called a signet horn because it's shaped like a swan neck.
Okay.
And that's also 1905. That's a little bit more unusual. And they still play, the records still play. It's really neat. And then here we have an antique chuck wagon that they made them out of tin, set them on the chuck wagons. Couldn't be made out of cast iron because that would be too heavy. And it still has the original pull knobs. These were for all the spices. You lift this up, flour goes in here, coffee goes in here, and there's actually a grinder on the side that still works. And this is from the early 1900s.
Oh my gosh. So and it's going for $6.95. Okay, where did you get this?
At an auction. We are from the Central Valley in California, and there's a very great antique house that specializes in this stuff, and so we go once a month, and we have a couple other vendors that we buy through. But this was evidently, I've never seen one before or since.
I mean, yeah, that is amazing. And it's interesting you mentioned that not making it out of tin because it would be too heavy.
Right. And it still lasted all this, 125 years.
Wow. Okay. So now this is what if you were out on the range.
Exactly.
Doing a cattle drive or whatever. And Cookie was going to make all the suppers.
Right.
He'd be using something like that.
And they call it security safe because it was actually lockable, so that none of the cowboys would steal any of the food.
Okay. I don't think I've ever heard that before, but that makes sense.
Okay, so we love lighting, and we do most of our own restoring. And this is an Art Nouveau chandelier, so it's from 1890 to 1910.
Wow. Okay.
And these are what's called cranberries. They're what's considered a library lamp. This one hasn't been electrified, so it's in its original state. That one has been electrified, and this one is also a library lamp. But they're all from late 1800s.
So these would these have been originally lit using oil or?
These ones would have been kerosene.
Okay, but just not light bulbs.
Right. This one was originally electrified.
Okay. Those are fabulous.
So we also love to repurpose things. If we can't do something like this, Jack Daniel's No. 7 whiskey barrel. So we put a bottom on it, we put cast iron wheels on it, locking, and got tempered glass to make it into a pup table. And we love doing things like that. And then, of course, the hanging lamp, it's called an angle lamp. They're very rare. And that would also be fueled by kerosene.
Nice. Okay, so this is the other half of the Susan and Annie booth here at Tanner's Marketplace. We just saw some wonderful lighting and some great Edisons. Now we're looking at jewelry. So Susan, tell us a little bit about some of the jewelry we have in front of us.
Well, the collection we have here is mostly Navajo and Zuni. So this is a squash blossom necklace, and it's Navajo.
Okay.
And then we also have this magnificent bracelet, which is also Navajo.
Wow.
And this piece down here, it's a set. This is Zuni. You can see by the inlay in it. And we try to pick up as many whole pieces as possible, but I am a silversmith also, and so we do a lot of our own repairs.
Wow.
And so we're able to add as much on as possible each show, and it's always fun, always fun.
So on some of these pieces, are some of them, are they silver based?
Oh, they're all sterling silver.
So they're all sterling silver. Okay. So, and as sterling silver, what does that actually mean to someone who's not familiar with metals in general?
Well, it's not the purest form of silver, but it's the most common purest form of sterling silver. I mean, they even have 0.99, but it's so soft it's difficult to use in this. Anything below, and it's considered 925, that's the grading.
Okay.
Anything below that is going to be considered a base silver that has a lot of zinc in it usually. Yeah.
Okay. So sterling would not be as valuable in terms of the silver purity.
Oh no, sterling silver is about the best you can get insofar as silver purity is concerned.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, you have quite the collection.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And most of these are turquoise stones, and turquoise here, coral, lapis, malachite. I'm always just in awe at the original crafters. The art that they built of these, it's just like, I know I can't do it. I can repair silver, but I could no way make anything like this, and I'm always in awe.
Wow. Now, it looks like you've got some silver on the other side.
Actually, that's our vintage jewelry.
Okay, let's go take a look at that.
All right.
Okay, Susan, so now we're on the front of your booth looking at some of the other jewelry you have here. Tell us about some of these pieces.
Okay, well, this is our antique and vintage, what would be considered costume jewelry at the time. Again, very well made. Anything from the 1890s, like this. This is a piece of Victorian, what they called mourning jewelry, and it's actually made out of the dead person's hair.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Anyways, and a lot of sparkly stuff, but made by name designers, and actually most of them have been done by hand. This is what your grandmother's jewelry was, basically. But it's fun to have and fun to wear, that's for sure.
All right, we're at another booth here at the Tanner's Marketplace with, believe it or not, another vendor named Steve. Steve, welcome to the show.
Howdy, folks.
So tell us a little bit about some of the things we got on display here.
Well, I've amassed a number of items over the years, retired teacher, and I collect things that are like me, old and not needed.
All right.
And
some people may debate that.
And things that they remember in their grandmother's or grandfather's items, and that's the type of things I have. Things of days gone by.
I'm noticing lots of coins, lots of marbles, lots of jewelry.
Yeah, some people lost their marbles. They got to need them replaced.
Well, are we talking figuratively
or literally? Well,
right.
Each way you want to take it.
All right. Well, I did notice that in some of your cases here, everything is marked as sterling silver.
Yes, under the glass in these two cabinets.
Yeah, in some of our previous episodes, we had one of our collectors was telling us about ways that how you test for silver. Can you tell us a little bit about how you test for silver?
Well, the best way is initially you take a rare earth magnet or a quality magnet that has a lot of draw, and if it sticks, it ain't gold or silver.
Okay.
And if the other test, if that passes that, then you need to test with acid, and if it discolors, it shouldn't.
Yeah, these are $3 for $1 thing.
That's true.
Thank you.
I love it. We got you getting.
If it turns green, then it ain't silver.
Okay.
That's the acid test.
Gotcha.
Well, you need really sulfuric acid to do that.
Ooh, yeah, you don't want to be.
And then you could also use electronic means.
Can you describe one?
Electronic means?
Yeah.
Well, you have to have the right. I have a tester for gold, and it has the density that it recognizes. And the same thing for silver. The magnetic resonance inside, it will calibrate it for that.
So has anyone ever brought something to you that asked you to validate if something was genuine or not?
Well, all the time.
All the time?
Yeah. Normally I sell, this is my first time selling at Tanner's at this location. It used to be at the
Livestock Event Center. Yeah.
And that was with Gay and Shirley as the promoters, but I haven't been here since. But I buy a lot of gold and silver over the years. And I have the electronic gold tester that's really heavily calibrated, but they do have a silver one too.
Nice. How long has it taken you to amass this collection?
About 20 years.
Well, that's not too bad.
And it's just inventory, not a collection in my mind. It's for sale. I ain't running a museum.
Right. Well, you almost are.
Yeah, for those that, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a fellow vet who was a Marine, but he was even older than me, because I'm in my 70s, Vietnam age, and he's way back when. And it was interesting talking. He said, he was pointing out certain things of yesterday's past.
Well, I certainly thank you for your service, Steve.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, are you enjoying that you've come back to Tanner's? Are
Well,
you enjoying
my mommy lives here. She's 95 years of age.
Bless her heart.
So, yeah, I come to Reno every month. I make that pilgrimage over your mountain here at Donner. And I've been doing it for 52 years.
Wow.
And so, Reno I don't like, to be quite honest.
That's okay.
I love Tahoe, but I would never go to Reno ever if she passed away. But over the last 52 years, I've been coming here every month practically.
Wow.
So I know it inside and out, but it's not a place that I vacate at.
I see. Well, we're glad you're here.
Well, I appreciate the good invite.
All right, Steve, have a great
You're nice
show.
people here.
Yes,
it's just
they are.
I'm not a gambler, so
Understood. Understood. Well, you know, so much of Reno has changed. Actually, it's not so casino centered anymore.
That's probably true now.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of just casinos.
Yeah, I think that's an old mode of thinking. I don't know how true that is anymore. I encounter a lot of really good business folks, a lot of neat communities, nice suburbs. That's not so. Yeah. Not as casino sleazy as a lot of people think anymore. Not like Reno 911.
I'm glad it's not as transient as it once was.
Yeah.
Because I remember 50-some years ago, here today, gone tomorrow type thing, all the time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, good luck at the show, and thanks for being a part of the Antique Showcase.
Well, I appreciate the good wishes.
Oh, do you have any kind of way that people, if they wanted to contact you?
Well, I have a business card that I could
love one of those
that you could take, and
we'll make sure that we'll make sure we put your information on the screen.
Fan of the West.
Because you never
I like
know.
everything west of the Rockies.
You never know who's going to contact you.
I was born in the East.
You never know who's going to contact you about something that they saw here. They weren't sure they wanted it. And then 3 days later after the show, they want it.
I'd appreciate that. That'd be great. I attend Alameda Antique Show every month, Sacramento Antique Show every month.
Okay.
They're the first and second Sundays of every month.
Okay.
And I'm at both those shows.
Well, good luck at those. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming to Reno.
I appreciate it, Steve.
All right, Steve. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, we're here at Tanner's Marketplace. We had another booth with Jeff. Jeff, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you. We haven't seen you in quite a bit. At least
it's been a couple of years.
Yeah, it has been.
Probably.
Yeah, since Auction Addicts.
Yes.
Now, on Auction Addicts, I recall as being part of the production crew, you were like a walk-in encyclopedia.
Yes.
When it came to coinage and mints.
Correct.
So, what do you want to show us today?
Well, I have some Carson City dollars. Those are very popular. They're Wild West coins. The Carson City Mint was opened from 1870 to 1893. There's only 13 different dates for the silver dollars in the Morgan series. There's a few in the Seated Liberty series. They discovered 2.9 million silver dollars back in Philadelphia in the mint vaults in the 1960s and 70s. They auctioned them off. It took about 7 years during the Nixon administration. They were originally going for $5 to $35. Today, the minimum price is about $300.
Oh my God!
And they can go up to $30,000 or $40,000, depending on the condition and the year they were made. The Carson City coins are really cool. The regular Morgan dollars, there's 95 different dates and mint marks from 1878 to 1921. They're very interesting, and that's basically my specialty. A complete set when I was a kid was $8,000 and uncirculated. Today would be over $1 million.
Oh, okay. So I have a little bit of experience with coinage because of my time with Auction Addicts, and I've collected a few. Tell us a little bit about what the Morgan silver dollar is in terms of like its silver content, in terms of how it gets valuated.
The Morgan silver dollar is 90% silver and 10% copper.
Okay.
It has a 1 ounce of silver is 31 grams. The Morgan dollar weighs 26.7.
Okay.
So all U.S. coinage In the early days, it was 89% silver, and then the United States government was having issues with other countries, so they made it 90% in 1853. They changed the weight of the coins. So Morgans they're the most popular series. The Lincoln penny is the second most popular series, only because during the Depression it was very easy to say to put pennies away. Not a lot of people collected silver dollars until after World War II.
So I've heard a reference to something called a wheat penny. Is that also a wheat?
Yeah, the
penny?
wheat penny. So Abraham Lincoln is on the penny.
Okay.
He was born in 1809. In 1909, for the 100th anniversary, they came out with the Lincoln wheat penny until 1959. So for the 150th anniversary, there has a memorial back, and then in 2009, they have 4 different styles of the Lincoln set. They changed it from copper to zinc in 1982 because the price of copper exceeded the value of the coin.
Okay. Huh. So how many, are you a regular here at Tanner's?
Yes, I've been doing it about 12, 13 years.
Okay.
It's 5 times a year, usually on a Saturday or Sunday, every 2.5 months. I do antiques, I do paper money, historical documents, books, Confederate items. There's a lot of really, if you're in the coin field, they made half cents, 2-cent pieces, 3-cent pieces, half dimes. They made a 20-cent piece, believe it or not. Most of it was due to the cost of postage stamps, or some congressman wanting to put a bill to change the denominations. Gold coins are very interesting too. They have 25 cent, 50 cent, $1, 2.5. They have a $5 coin, a $3 coin, a $4 coin, a $10 coin. The largest coin is a $20 gold piece.
Okay.
They stopped making them in 1933. So FDR took us off the gold standard in 1933. So they stopped making circulating gold coins. They make bullion now. They started that in 1986 with silver and with gold. Gold right now is over $3,000. Silver is over $30. So it's been a very, very good market.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to contact you, had questions about coins or just general collection of mintage coins, those
Yes,
some of the things
I
that you're
could tell them
specialty?
about anything they want to know. There's 70 grades that a coin can be, from poor to choice uncirculated. The values can say on an 1892 mint in San Francisco, it could be a $30 coin, or it could be worth $80,000.
Oh my gosh.
Depending on the condition.
Well, Jeff, thank you for joining us on this episode. It's good to see you again.
Yes, same here. I'm glad to give any information or help anybody that has questions.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this Tanner's Marketplace, and it's also going to conclude this episode of Antique Showcase. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time to see what is hot and what is not.
Clarkson Antiques and Collectibles Mall is now open in the former grocery outlet. Come and enjoy unique shopping for fabulous gifts and home decor. Clarkson Antiques and Collectibles Mall is now the largest dealer in northern Nevada. See us today.
20 years of incredible finds, friendly staff, and already 3 years in our new home on Rock Boulevard. If you haven't been here yet, you're truly missing out. 20 dealers, over 7,000 square feet of antiques and collectibles, just about anything you can imagine. Easy parking, but stay a while. Antiques and Treasures Rock. Open 7 days a week, 10 to 6.
The new Clarkson Antiques and Collectibles Mall is really big. I mean really, really big! Now with over 27,000 square feet of antiques, gifts, and collectibles. Clarkson Antiques and Collectibles Mall is really, really big!